Good morning. Today we are going to discuss the various inversions of a quadric cyclic chain. In the last lecture we have also discussed about what is kinematic chain and what are the terminology related to kinematic chain, and we have also seen what is class 1 mechanism, class 2 mechanism and class 3 mechanism. There we discussed about S plus L is less than P plus Q, or S plus L equal to P plus Q, S plus L is greater than P plus Q. That is, the length of shortest link and largest link sum, if it is less than the remaining two lengths, we call it as a Grashoff's mechanism, and that is the first category or first type, Grashoff's first type mechanism. And the second one we said, which is greater than P plus Q, that is non-Grashoff's mechanism, and the other one is a special Grashoff where S plus L is equal to P plus Q. That we have discussed in the last lecture. So, as I said, the SS Ratan textbook provides the information for all the syllabus in a beautiful manner, but somehow he has missed to give the inversions of practical cases of quadric cyclic chain. That's why I am taking this complete session for only to give a practical applications of quadric cyclic chain. Okay, so for that I will first in 5 minutes summarize what is a quadric cyclic chain, what is the terminology used, and later we will enter into the various inversions in that category. So you can see the diagram here. This is a 4-bar chain where 4 links 1, 2, 3, 4 are connected by pin joints, and these are 4 lower pairs, the pins, and based upon the operation of these we can call them as crank, lever, coupler and fixed link. Okay, so first we will see that, and then we will enter for the inversions of this quadric cyclic chain. Okay, so the two animations what you can see here, these are the two practical applications of this inversions of quadric cycle chain. So now we will see first the basic terminology, that is what is crank, what is lever, what is coupler, and what is a fixed one. We are aware of it. A kinematic chain can be called as a mechanism by fixing one of the link in the kinematic chain. That means you can fix any link in that kinematic chain, then it forms one mechanism. By fixing various links, we can get various mechanisms under that category of the kinematic chain. So this is a quadric cycle chain. That means it consists of 4 elements, 4 links. We can fix any one of the links in this, then we get one particular mechanism. So if you look at this, the present diagram showing fixing a link 1, which is the largest link. So as I said, L, S, P, Q are the terminology we are using, saying largest link, shortest link and 2 other links. If you look at this diagram, this is the largest one, this is the smallest one, and these 2 can be called as P and Q. Okay, so with simple observation you can tell that L plus S is less than P plus Q. That is, the largest link plus shortest link length is less than P plus Q. It results Grashoff's first type mechanism. So what are the terms we use for these links based upon their performance? Let us see. In this mechanism, the link 2 can be revolved completely. Hence it is called crank. The member which can be rotated for 360 degrees is called crank. Then here, by revolving this link, this Q link will move like this, oscillating, not rotation. Part of the rotation, which we call it as an oscillation, which is called lever or rocker. This is the link 4. So these two links are connected by another link, which is link number 3, called as a coupler. And one of the link is fixed in this mechanism, that is the link number 1. So this is a fixed link. So by fixing one of the link in this kinematic chain, I get different mechanisms. What are different mechanisms that I can get? Look at here. So you can observe here, in the first, larger link is fixed. Okay, then next, the link P, that is with reference to this, opposite to the larger link, P is fixed. Then shorter link S fixed, and finally opposite to the S, that is the link Q, is fixed. So there are 4 links named as L, S, P, Q. So if you fix this one mechanism, by fixing this another mechanism, by fixing this another mechanism, by fixing this another mechanism, we get. Okay, but here in this quadric cycle chain, which I have shown here, by fixing the link L as well as link P will give same type of mechanism, that is called crank and lever or crank and rocker. Crank and rocker or crank and lever, both will result same mechanism, crank rocker or crank lever. That means input is completely revolving for 360 degrees and output is partially oscillating. Okay, that is crank rocker mechanism. Then the second one is by fixing the shortest link. So this link is fixed. This link is fixed. Earlier we fixed L and Q, now I fixed shortest link. So if I fix the shortest link, then input can be given at P and output is obtained from L. You can see the input is making complete rotation and the output also making complete rotation. So when it rotates 360 degrees, we call it crank. So input is also called crank and output is also called crank. That is why it is called double crank or crank mechanism. And coming to the last one, that is, this is a double crank or crank. And finally, the last one is fixing the link opposite to the shortest one, that is the Q link is fixed. So if I fix the Q link, then I get double rocker or double lever, double rocker or a double lever mechanism. We called a lever or rocker is 1 which oscillates. Here you can see, if I say this is input and this is output, both are partially revolving, not completely revolving. That is called double rocker. Okay, so we get only 3 different mechanisms because LP fixation will give only one type of mechanism, that is a crank rocker. Then shortest link fixed gives a mechanism called double crank, and opposite to the shortest link fixed will give you double rocker mechanism. Now I will show you the inversions of these practical cases one by one. So the first one, which we said, crank and lever mechanism. Crank and lever mechanism and its practical application. So an example for this is a beam engine. A beam engine. So here the link 1 is fixed, then input is given at link 2, which is revolving, then link 3, which is connecting the output, and link 4 is a lever, which is nothing but oscillating. That means by the rotation of this crank with the center A, the output at lever with the center D, it will oscillate like bottom and upward with this center, like it oscillates. Okay, so when it oscillates, this lever is connected with a piston rod, where the end is connected by a piston in a cylinder, so it can operate or it can do some positive work by this is reciprocating. So the oscillatory motion is converted into reciprocating motion here with the help of another link. But our objective is see the mechanism up to this point F, isn't it? Up to this point F only, isn't it? So the same thing you can observe here, the animation. So the complete animation is given a separate slide. So this is a crank which is revolving. This is a crank which is revolving. And this rotational motion, that is the link number 2, is given to the link number 4, okay, through the coupler. This is 3. And of course this is the fixed link 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4. And this you can see here by placing a proper another mechanism. Here the piston is reciprocating in a cylinder. This is an application of crank and lever mechanism, and it is called beam engine. It is called beam engine. This is the first inversion. The same thing can be carried by fixing the link 3 and same crank and lever mechanism you obtain. Then the next one is a double crank mechanism. So here actually this is not L plus S is less than P plus Q case. Here it is shown L plus S is equal to P plus Q case. But the objective will be fulfilled. That means it gives input rotation, output rotation. That is why it is called double crank mechanism. That is why it is called double crank mechanism. So it is actually a special case, that is a special mechanism where L plus S is equal to P plus Q. It is not less than, it is just a case of n equal. So in this mechanism, okay, you can see this is the link 4 and link 2. They serves as cranks. Okay, so here these two will serve as a crank. So as per our definition, crank is nothing but which can revolve 360 degrees. And one of the link is fixed and the other one is connected by means of a coupler which is link 3. So practically this you can see in locomotives where power is supplied from front wheels to rear wheels or driving wheels to driven wheels. You can see here these are the front wheel set and these are the rear wheel set. Okay, so there is a coupling rod which couples the front wheel and rear wheel. If you give the input here, that is that this is the driving wheel, then it drives this to make it as a driven wheel. So the same thing you can see where there is a cylinder where the steam or whatever the way that reciprocates and the motion is given to your coupling rod. You can see here, and this is the input link and these are the output links. This is the input link. This input link is given to as an output to here. So a complete picture is also shown. So a complete diagram you can see here. So this is a steam engine where you might have studied in your second year first semester course or second semester course, where a D-slide valve, how it controls the steam entering and leaving on a double acting engine. You can see this is the D-slide valve, where this D-slide valve is also controlled by this connecting lever. Our objective is actually this wheels motion, isn't it? You can see here this piston which is reciprocating is giving a power to this, and that power is given to this member, and you are feeding that power to both. Here of course we have shown one front wheel and one rear wheel coupled with coupling rods. In the mechanism we have shown only one coupling rod, whereas here you can see two coupling rods. Here one coupling rod, here one coupling rod. Okay, so the wheels all will be rotated with the help of input link rotation. Okay, so this is a double crank mechanism or crank mechanism. And finally the last one is double lever mechanism. That means input is oscillating and output is also oscillating. So for this, a beautiful example is Watt's indicator diagram or straight line mechanism. Let us first see the basic mechanism and there practically how it is applied, then we can discuss here. So you can see here there are 4 links. He has shown this is the link 1, this is A, C, of course A, B, C is the link 2, and C, D, E is link 3, then B, F, D is link 4. So A, B, C, actually B is a point on AC and there is no relative motion here. Similar C, D, E, D is a point on the link CE. Here the BFD is another link. So as per the definition of a link, within the link there is no relative motion. Within the link there is no relative motion. That means you cannot expect any relative motion between BFD, and you cannot expect anything in ABC, and you cannot expect anything in CDE. It is only a matter of the connection at B and D. Okay. Now let us assume initially where the position is at solid lines. You can see B of D is connected to a plunger, where this plunger is incorporated in a cylinder, and there is some gas or steam or whatever it may be actuating this piston in the upward direction. So when the piston is moving up, then what is going to happen to the entire mechanism? You can see in a dotted lines. The point B, of course, first F will be shifted to F dash, then automatically D will be moved to D dash, C will be C dash, B will be B dash. Then this E, this